Now that seems to be everything inside the box. I have no problems with the unboxing, very secured, very high quality. All of the accessories that you will need will come in the box. Now first impressions on the keyboard, I think it looks fantastic. I think it looks pretty clean, and these feet are kind of interesting because they do have that bounce kind of thingy, so I don't know how will that affect the sound. And also the outline over here is kind of rubber. It is not plastic, but these guys are plastic though. But picking up the keyboard didn't feel cheap at all. It felt pretty high quality. Now I got the color white over here. They also have it on black if you want that, so very nice option. And I also have it on the layout ANSI or ANSI, but you can also get it on JIS if you want. But yeah, I have no problems with how it looks like. I really like it. Now for the keycaps are PBT, and they look pretty high quality. I have no problems with them. Very nice. Now for the switches, they didn't really specify what type of switches these are on the website. These are magnetic switches, of course. Raesha like engraved on it. I'm not 100% sure if that's right, but here's how it sounds like. Oh, and by the way, you can take out the switches. They don't really advertise this keyboard as hot swappable, but you can take out the switches because it is quite unique. As you see, there's just one stem because the magnets are inside. They don't really need any pins to just connect to the keyboard. I don't think Gateron switches with the two stems side to side will work over here, but correct me if I am wrong. Here's how the switches sound like. That sounded pretty quiet and good. I'm really looking forward on how this will sound like the whole keyboard, but you know, let's just go ahead and listen to it. Put the switches and the keycaps. Okay. Now that sounded pretty good in my opinion. You can kinda hear its plastic case and stuff like that, but it doesn't sound bad. I do like it. Could definitely tell that they made a lot of efforts in making this keyboard sound good. As you can see, there's a lot of layers inside this keyboard. These legs, they also call it the shock absorbing tilt legs. I can see how it can affect the keyboard sound a little bit and make it sound better. I don't know if you can see it, but those legs kind of make the keyboard feel like it has a gasket mount because it kind of bounces up and down. Now enough with how the keyboard sounds like. I know it's very important, but how about the performance? That's another important thing. As I mentioned, these does have the magnetic switches, so you already know you can go ahead and change the actuation points. You can go ahead and set the actuation point to as high as 3.8 millimeters and to as low as 0.2 millimeters. Then the adjustable precision is 0.1 millimeters. And of course, this will also have rapid trigger. The rapid trigger also has 0.1 millimeters accuracy. So very accurate. Now other than that, this keyboard also has kind of similar to SnapTap. As we know, they call it the last win. So yeah, pretty similar to socd and SnapTap. As soon as you click the other key, it will stop activating the other key and instead prioritize the last key you pressed, and then after you let go, it will go back to this. So you can definitely hit some crazy counter strafings. But yeah, other than the last win feature or SnapTap that everyone's been wanting, they also have a pretty unique feature that I haven't seen in other magnetic keyboards before. But what I'm talking about is the release dual trigger mode. So what it does is, let's say I press D, right? So it will actuate D if I press it. But as soon as the keyboard detects me lifting it up, it can actuate a different key. I press A, right, to go to the left, and I don't have to press D anymore to counter strafe. I just have to let go of A, and as soon as the keyboard detects the A key going up, it can actuate D. But yeah, another situation that I see release dual trigger mode being very useful is in Apex Legends. I do play that game a little bit, and I know how you can get a speed boost when you press the jump button and the crouch button, or vice versa, almost the same time. But I think you gotta press one of the other before the other one. It's not that easy to do and not very consistent. But with this feature, like imagine as soon as you click C, you crouch, and then as soon as you let it go, it actuates the jump button without you even trying to press it, just as soon as the keyboard attacks the C going up. But yeah, there's just so much things you can do with the release dual trigger mode feature. But yeah, most of the features that you're gonna be looking for and more will be with or in this keyboard. So let's go ahead and check out more of its different feature and its web-based software, of course. Let's go ahead and plug this in and test it out in game. Okay, I have the keyboard over here. Let's go ahead and plug it in. Oh yes sir, look at that, bro. But okay, let's go ahead and check more of its features. Very nice RGB, very bright. I like it. So okay, I have the web-based software over here. It is the beta one because this one has the Rapid Trigger Plus, which has the last tween, release dual trigger mode, and stuff like that. So yeah, let's go ahead and connect the keyboard over here, and here we are. So you'll get led to performance tab right away, and you can already see a lot of the stuff. But okay, let's go ahead and go to the color tab over here first. So as you can see, you can go ahead and do a lot of different effects. You have color, colorful, lighting, speed. I think my favorite one is love. Look at this. It's a freaking heart, bro. But yeah, you can also do custom light. But if you want something reactive like me, laser key also looks pretty fantastic. Now with the performance tab, you can set different profiles, rename, duplicate, export, delete. Very nice. We also have turbo mode. Now when you turn on turbo mode, it will significantly minimize input latency, but this will kind of turn off the lighting effects. So say goodbye to the love lighting effect. But hey, this is for the better. This is for the performance. And then you can also go ahead and select rapid trigger mode all keys to enable rapid trigger on all keys. But if you want to turn off the rapid trigger, you can just set the millimeters to 0 over here, and it won't have any rapid trigger. And lastly, we do have the rapid trigger plus settings over here. It's currently on beta apparently. But yeah, we have the release dual trigger, very nice. And last twin, pretty similar to snap tap. Press A, and as soon as you press D, it will deactivate A. Having last twin on does help you not press A and D at the same time, which will keep you moving, because if you have A and D at the same time pressed, you will be just stuck and not moving, especially in games like Valorant and CS2. But okay, let's go ahead and turn on last twin over here, and I'm gonna go ahead and do A and D. And then for release dual trigger, I'm gonna go ahead and play with it a little bit later. We're gonna go back to the RT plus setting over here, but now let's go ahead and change the actuation point settings, right? And I'm gonna go ahead and do 0.2 millimeters for my WASD and spacebar. I want them to actuate very instantly, and then I also want them to have rapid trigger. So I'm gonna do the 0.1 millimeter, which is the lowest it can go, so very instant. And then go ahead and select the rest of the keys, but unselect the WASD and spacebar because we don't want to change the settings again that we just set for those. And I'm also unselect number 4 and 5 because this is my plant and diffuse keys in Valorant. I don't want them to have rapid trigger. I want them to have a different setting compared to the rest of the keys. Same for shift. I'm gonna go ahead and select the rest of the keys and make them 0.5 millimeters. I also want them to have 0.1 millimeter rapid trigger. For the next one, I want the 4 and 5 and shift. I'm gonna go ahead and select them and make them 0.2 millimeters. Make them actuate very instantly, but again, no rapid trigger, as you can see, so 0 millimeters. And then lastly, for the Windows key, I just want it to be on the highest millimeter possible on 3.8 millimeters. So I need to press down the Windows key as deep down as I can in order for it, before it actuates. Really prevents you from accidentally actuating the Windows key. Very nice. I'm sorry about that, my recording stopped. But yeah, that's pretty much gonna be it for my performance tab over here. I'm pretty happy with all of these settings. This is what I would recommend, but feel free to change it if you want. We all have different games, different keybinds. Now let's go ahead and move on to remap. Over here you can go ahead and change the different keys, which you want, what you want. Maybe change the function keys as well. Very nice, very customizable. You can also reset all keys. Amazing. 0.2 millimeters feels so fast, and yeah, letting it go as well feels very instant. For number 4, I don't have rapid trigger on it. Amazing. I guess one suggestion, or I'm not sure if I'm just not seeing how to do it, but I want to be able to make the turbo mode whenever I turn it on. I don't want the color to be blue. I understand that it becomes static, but at least can I make it like orange or red, something like that. But yeah, they should be able to do that easily. This is still the beta anyway. Anyways, go ahead and test this keyboard out in game and see how it actually feels like.
Cutting their vision. Results. For dead. Yeah.
So I have released dual trigger mode on right now, and it felt amazing, bro. You saw the gameplay. I had released dual trigger mode on, and I could really focus more on my aiming and not my movement much, because the keyboard will do the counter strafing itself. You see, I'm holding down D, and watch. I'm not gonna press A. I'm just holding down D, and when I lift it up, boom, there's a little A at the corner over here. And when I press A, lift it, and I lift it up, it pressed D. And I also tried experimenting with it a bit. What if I slowly lifted up the key? Would it actuate the other key more? Well, gladly, no. Say I press S and then I have release dual triggered on it on W. No matter how slow I lift up S, it will only actuate W one time. I'm really glad they did that, looking ahead like that, because, you know, what if sometimes you accidentally lift up the key slower than before, then it might mess with the movement if it continues pressing W and stuff like that. I wish I have the camera and materials to show you guys the difference with or without the release dual trigger mode, but sadly I don't. But feeling wise, my movement whenever I stopped, whenever I just released D, it felt more snappy. It just felt more like I stopped a little bit faster. And another thing that I've been thinking is how hard it will be to type with DWASD on release dual trigger mode, because look at me typing WOW. W-O-W. It automatically press S whenever I lift it up. But gladly, they do have a keybind. As you can see over here, I set it on remap, and it is on FN over here. RDT on or off. On default, you don't have this, but I just put it here. So whenever you press FN plus, as you can see, plus FN plus this button beside one over here, whenever I press that, my RDT turns off. So going back to Val, I'm just spamming W, and as you can see, there's S. But I press FN and the one beside one, and look at me now. I'm just pressing W, and it's not pressing S anymore. I like that. Very nice feature. I love that DrunkDeer thought about that and adding that on the software. What if they want to start typing and stuff like that? So big plus to that makes the release dual trigger so much more usable. Anyways, so after playing and testing the DrunkDeer G75, here's my experience so far. First of all, the unboxing was pretty smooth, I like it. And also the setting up of the keyboard, everything was pretty easy, especially with the web-based software. The features were pretty easy to understand, especially with all the different features this keyboard has. You will definitely need a easy to understand software, and I think they did an amazing job on making that software. Now, gaming with it felt very nice. It was very responsive, even though it was only 0.2. Well, it felt like 0.1, I'm not gonna lie. Now, it only has 1000 Hz polling rate, but it still felt very responsive. I have no problems with how responsive it is. Now, sound-wise, I really like typing with it and also gaming with it. It sounded pretty good. I have no problems with it. And also the bounce, I think it does contribute to the sound a little bit. It felt like the keyboard has a gasket mount, I'm not gonna lie. Now moving on to the features, I did try the last tween, or snap tap, and also the release dual trigger. All felt amazing. It was very useful. I can see it being very useful for a lot of games. Now recently, Counter-Strike announced that you might get kicked out of a game if you're using snap tap. So I think that might also apply for the release dual trigger. So yeah, they just did announce that. So no more snap tap for Counter-Strike. I don't think they're allowing it anymore. I'm not 100% sure, but you can go ahead and search it up more. But that's what I saw. They also shared it on the DrunkDeer Discord. So yeah, I don't think you can use that on Counter-Strike anymore. But in Valorant and in other games like Apex Legends, a lot of the different games, only Counter-Strike has made the announcement so far at the making of this video. But yeah, the features felt very responsive and very useful, especially in Valorant as well. I have no problems with it. So far, I've been really liking the features. I find them very useful. I have no problems with them. And for the price of this keyboard coming in $109, you can also use my discount code MIGSS for $10 off, bringing the keyboard below $100. First link in the description, and also the discount code will be found over there. I think with all those features, with the web-based software, the experience you get over here is so good. So would I recommend it? Of course. I think it's an amazing keyboard, especially again coming in $109. You get a lot of features, you get more than what you pay for, you get an amazing magnetic keyboard experience, and also the sound is pretty good. The keyboard is very nice quality. I have no problems with it. But yeah, I'll be putting this keyboard, first link in the description if you want to go and check it out. Wait, I just noticed the bottom feet also bounces. Not just these feet, but also these bottom feet. That's why it felt more bouncy. I like that. Okay. But yeah, I'll be putting this keyboard, first link in the description if you want to go and check it out. And a little disclaimer, this keyboard is sent to me by DrunkDeer, but that won't change my review of the keyboard. Everything you've been hearing is my honest opinion and review. But yeah, I pray and hope that this video helped you in some way. I'll go ahead and see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to stay grateful, and remember, Jesus loves you. Bye-bye.